There is no doubt that rush hour on the TTC can be crowded, and adding to the crowds are delays. Well, if transit riders thought their commute might improve anytime soon, it isn't looking likely. The TTC announcing that a plan to upgrade the signal system, which would relieve some of the crowded lines, is 3 years behind schedule and almost $100 million over budget. Today we spoke with Mayor John Tory, who says he was kept in the dark about the issue.
I was told by the relevant transit officials of the day that that project was on time and on budget. It's very necessary for increasing capacity on the Yonge Street line, but I will just tell you that I was told throughout the last number of years that it was on time and on budget, which turned out not to be true.
Is it frustrating that you were being told one thing and something else was happening? You were told that these upgrades were on time and they weren't. Is there anything you can do in the future to make sure that you know exactly what's going on?
I try now. I have very regular meetings in my office on all of these big projects to determine whether they're on time and on budget, and by having those meetings, I'm assuming people are, giving me the straight goods. But at the end of the day, I think we can just keep on trying to impose a sense of discipline on these projects. And then when they do fall behind, and complications do come. I mean, we did have some delays on the Spadina subway, which contributed to this. But at the end of the day, we just got to keep at it and do better, because I acknowledge this is not good enough. I mostly think of the transit riders, because they're the ones that will benefit most from this new signal system, because we'll have a 20% increase on capacity on the very overcrowded Yonge Street subway.
The Automatic Train Control Program, or the ATC, was supposed to be finished on the Yonge line this year. Crews have been working on the upgrade since 2008, and it has led to dozens of scheduled closures and delays every year. A new report from the transit agency says the new completion date is 2022, 3 years past deadline, and the project will cost an additional $98 million. The TTC estimates it will need to shut down parts of the line 12 weekends a year to complete the work. More than 700,000 people use Line 1 on a daily basis, and this signal modernization would help improve service capacity, as it would allow more trains to operate at once. It works by providing the TTC's control system with real-time location for each subway, so they could run much closer together. It is so reliable and used all over the world that transit experts say no backup is needed for the system. But even once the Yonge line is complete, there is still the Bloor line to upgrade, and transit experts predict that won't be done for at least another decade.
The original plans for ATC saw them moving over to the Bloor line once they finished the Yonge line. And the whole conversion of Bloor has been put off for several years because of the decision to rebuild the existing trains on Bloor rather than buying new trains. And what this means is that there will be no additional service on the Bloor line easily until the early 2030s, when Bloor finally has automatic train control and a fleet capable of operating that way. So this is not just a Yonge line issue, this is a much more pervasive issue for the whole system.
The TTC says the new system would allow 30 trains to run per hour on Line 1. That's up from 25 trains an hour. And they say the biggest reason for the delay was the extension of the subway Spadina line, which required the full focus of the ATC team.